The release of Warhammer 3 is so close, I can almost smell it. That sweet odour that signifies my CPU melting from extended play sessions. I have been watching a great deal of footage from a variety of content creators and streamers over the past few weeks, enjoying the spectacle of the battles and the complexities of the new campaign systems. There was one video, however, which made my ears prick up and got my attention more than most. Cody Bonds conducted an interview with two of the senior game developers. They touched on a number of subjects, and overall it was interesting to see what they were excited about with Game 3's release. Their enthusiasm seemed very genuine and not just the usual marketing drawl. I'll include a link to the video in this video's description. There was one tidbit of information that was briefly raised at the 10-minute and 38-second mark: the return of mini-campaigns to the franchise. It seems there is a prologue to the main campaign, and from what I could tell, this will be a playable mini-campaign. Exactly what form it will take, and whether it has its own unique map, is yet to be seen, but the thought of mini-campaigns returning sounds very exciting. While I believe that Total War should lean heavily into being a sandbox for players, and that should be the priority for the Mortal Empires campaign and the Game 3 equivalent, I nevertheless enjoy a more focused narrative experience from time to time, especially if that's presented in its own campaign environment. Game 3's main campaign will provide that narrative experience, as it is driven by a strong story around the Chaos Realms and a certain prisoner in the Forge of Souls. But this is just one story in a fantasy universe which is rich with lore and opportunities for smaller narrative-driven campaigns. I would love to see a campaign that focused on the War of the Beard between the High Elves and the Dwarves, and how once firm friends and allies became bitter enemies for centuries. Or how about the great civil war of the Elves, known as the Sundering, which saw large parts of Ulthuan destroyed and swallowed by the ocean. We could see Nagash's rise to power and tragic destruction of Nehekhara in a campaign focused on great treachery. Or perhaps more controversially, a campaign revolving around Bretonia's Great Crusade against Araby. There are many periods in the histories of many of the races that could be represented in such smaller campaigns. But didn't Creative Assembly try this before with the Beastman's Eye for an Eye and the Wood Elves Season Revelation campaigns that are playable in Warhammer 1, and then abandon the format soon after? Well, yes, they did. To be honest, I'm not sure how well the mini-campaigns were received by the community as a whole. I see conflicting perspectives, with some people absolutely hating them, considering them a waste of time, and some really enjoying them and wishing for more. The fact that Creative Assembly stopped releasing them with race packs leads me to believe that Creative Assembly, at least, considered them poorly received. Or perhaps they saw that race packs with more lords instead would lead to happier customers and more sales. Regardless of the reason for them being abandoned, perhaps Game 3 is the perfect platform for them to be reintroduced. Of course, a focus on the addition of mini-campaigns would take up precious development resources, drawing them away from Lord packs and race packs. But perhaps towards the end of the life cycle of Warhammer 3, when all the races that can appear have appeared, and they all have fleshed out rosters and a good selection of legendary lords, perhaps then could be the perfect time to reintroduce these smaller campaigns. It would extend the life of the game, perhaps lead to additional lords in the grand campaign that may otherwise have not been considered, and would give players a variety of campaign experiences to choose from. We might even see the two mini-campaigns from Game 1 ported across to Game 3 for those that own the first game and the relevant DLCs. It would be fantastic to play both mini-campaigns with the quality of life changes, the improved graphics, and more importantly, the updated rosters and mechanics of the races involved. For me, the addition of mini-campaigns would be just the cherry on top of the sweet chocolate cake that Warhammer 3 appears to be. But what are your thoughts on their return? Would you be willing to pay for smaller narrative-driven expansions? If you enjoyed this video, then why not leave a comment for the algorithm, or share it amongst your Warhammer friends. If not subscribed, then take the plunge. The water's not that cold. You can also follow me on Twitter, and you can now find me streaming on Twitch. This video was brought to you by my patrons. Thanks to Hot Apple Pie, Alexander, and Solarith Magnetar. I'm Grey Tiger. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.